Warframe, as many of you know, can be complicated. It is not evident of what you should do or have to do once you finish your first quest, Vor's Prize. In this video, I will talk about the best path to take in my opinion, as well as some frames you can get to help you get through the beginning steps of Warframe. I will obviously not say how to complete the whole game, since that will take a long video. I will focus on the first steps to help you through the beginning of the game, and if anyone has any questions about stuff I didn't cover, then please let me know in the comments below. First things first, what do you do after the Vor quest? Well, first, your two main goals should be getting weapons and completing junctions as well as missions. As you are completing missions in order to unlock junctions, you should try and get all the weapons you can. You will have some starter platinum to use. Use this on weapon and frame slots. More so weapon slots than Warframe slots. Making weapons and frames often will increase your MR and have you level up quick and easy. This is pretty easy to understand. Just complete missions you haven't done yet and do the challenges that unlock that junction. To see these challenges for the junction, just hover over the junction icon. In order to see the missions you haven't done, look at all the missions that have a flashing blue light on said planet. Now let me be more specific on frames and weapons. You will not find every weapon to be great, nor will you have a nice time with these weapons or frames. This is because you will not have many mods for them. You will have common mods that you're meant to get early on, and because of this, base stats are very important to you. So don't just look up top 10 weapons in Warframe. Look up top 10 weapons for beginners in Warframe and make sure they talk about them with very little mods on. In order to have a lot of mods on, you will need to up the capacity, which requires a catalyst. You will likely not get a blueprint for this or want to spend your plat on it. Now this is early on, so enemy level will be low, but you will want to do your research for weapons that help you get through the early steps in Warframe. I recommend the Heck and the Orthos. They carried me through the early steps in Warframe, and I believe they will do the same for you. The Heck is a primary weapon, a shotgun, that has good base stats and does well against enemies early on. The Orthos is a double-bladed polearm that also does well against enemies early on. These are easy to build, especially the Orthos. Moving on to frames I think you should get, the ones I will recommend are Mag and Rhino. Mag is one of the frames you can pick as soon as you boot up Warframe for the first time. If you don't select her, it's no big deal. Volt is probably the next best option in my opinion. And if you selected Excalibur, that's not bad either. All of them are decent early on, Excalibur is just the worst of the three. But you can get Rhino and get him early on. It may be a bit more challenging for you, but you have to complete the Venus Junction and defeat the boss, the Jackal. You need to get all three parts, the chassis, systems, and neuroptics from the Jackal. One of these three will be rewarded to you once you've successfully completed the mission. You may have to do this more than just 3 times. As you will soon come to realize, chance or probability is a big part of Warframe. You will purchase his blueprint in the market and craft all of his parts in the foundry. Then you can build Rhino. This will take multiple days to complete since the final build of any frame is 3 days long. Do not rush the build. Trust me, it is not worth it whatsoever. You can get Mag again if you didn't choose her, but this is somewhat down the line. This is once you unlock Phobos. Now those are the 2 main things you should focus on, making frames and weapons, as well as doing missions and junctions. So technically 4, but I think of it as 2 main groups of things that are pretty much the same. Build stuff and complete missions. So what else should you do? Well, first off, you should be completing quests. They not only unlock more of the great story of Warframe, but they also unlock new places in your navigation, new frames, and new quests. They are needed to go farther in Warframe and should be completed whenever you can. If one is too difficult, don't get frustrated. Try to get more mods and weapons or frames. It is possible, trust me. Everyone else is doing it or has done it the way you are, likely. Not much else is to say about the quests, but to do them. And of course, to not try and get too frustrated. Trust me, you'll get there. Another thing you should do is to find a clan. Once you're able to, go into the recruiting tab and say you're looking for a clan. You will likely get messages or invites to a clan. I would imagine most clans have everything you need, but just in case, you can always ask if they have all of the labs. If they have all of the labs, then you will be able to get certain weapon and frame blueprints in these labs that you cannot get in the market. Some frames being Volt, Wukong, Zephyr, Banshee, and Nezha, where most of these frames are great for beginners. This will help you out greatly as you go through Warframe, from early on to late game. A clan is very important, as well as syndicates. You will unlock more syndicates than you see now, but the basic 6 syndicates are Relay Syndicates, the Parent Sequence, New Loka, Red Veil, Steel Meridian, Cephalon Suda, and the Arbiters of Hexus. You will be able to have 2 syndicates at a time until you leave your first set of syndicates and have one that is neutral to your next syndicates. That's a little confusing, but for the most part you will have 2 syndicates you earn standing for and have missions for. You will have to pick a syndicate to pledge to, which has you start earning standing for them and their allied syndicate as you do missions. Then you will unlock missions to earn standing and collect medallions. There will be 3 random mission types for each syndicate you earn standing for. These are mainly important for their unique mods for frames. You will not have access to every frame's unique mods off of 2 syndicates. These syndicates will have these unique mods, called augment mods, for their own set of frames. These syndicates all have their own weapons too. The most popular ones being the melee weapons, specifically Red Veil's Dark Dagger and the pairing sequence's Lecta. The Dark Dagger giving you extra shield and the Lecta giving you extra credits. Lastly, each syndicate has a relic pack, where if you have enough standing and have most of the mods and even weapons, you should spend on relic packs. These will give you 3 relics as well as some Aya each time you open one up. Now, the last thing you can do as a beginner that will help you out greatly is to subscribe to me. I'm just kidding, but you can subscribe if you think my videos are good enough. It does help out. Anywho, one thing that will help you out greatly are sentinels. This is something that even now helps me out greatly. When I do my thumbnails or b-roll footage of the frame I choose for the video, I always get rid of my sentinel. Sometimes I have forgotten to equip it back, and it's the most noticeable thing when you enter a mission. Vacuum is a great and must needed mod that you will need for your sentinel. This makes missions easier as it collects items without you having to be directly on top of them. Trust me, this is a must. May not sound like it, but it is very, very useful. A sentinel will also never die and can give you a boost in shields and health, along with a number of other benefits. There's nothing bad about having a sentinel, and as soon as you can, get a sentinel. Any sentinel. You can purchase blueprints for most sentinels in the market, and some are really easy to build, so this shouldn't be a problem. Plus, they are not mastery locked, so it's easy to get. I know this is towards the end of the video, and many of you have probably left by now, but hopefully some of you are still here. So first, let me say this. I would like to quickly mention Platinum. First, I hope all beginners are still here, like I just said, to hear this specifically. Do not focus on Platinum right away. Cosmetics and selling items will wait. Trade chat will wait. Many beginners get scammed in Warframe. You may search up videos on the best way to farm Platinum, and many of them will not be friendly towards beginners. The reality is that you cannot make much Platinum until you are a good chunk through Warframe, where you have a lot of the items in the game, a lot of frames and weapons, a lot of mods and arcanes. The stuff that sells a lot requires you to be a high level and have a lot of hours in the game. So please don't fall for this stuff. Don't fall into a creator's trap on selling Platinum, and don't try to use generators. Also, don't subscribe to a Patreon. Just understand that farming Platinum has to wait. So please, don't focus on Platinum, and understand that you cannot farm Platinum just yet. It's not a bad thing, it's just something that you shouldn't rush. And if you are confused at all about Platinum, here soon I will be making a video talking about some traps when it comes to Platinum and beginners, as well as other things relating to Platinum and farming Platinum. Now I could go on and on about what else you need to do going further into Warframe. However, like I mentioned right away in this video, that would be a long video, and if you have any questions, please let me know. You can leave a comment below and I will get to it as soon as I can. Also, if anyone is still here and you're one of the people who help out others, thank you. I cannot always get to people quickly now, and there are a few who I see on almost everything I post. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate that you help out beginners who come across my channel. And to quickly recap, do every mission you can, do your junctions, spend your beginner plat on weapon and Warframe slots, try and build as much as you can, and of course, try to build the best ones you can first. Do your quests, join the clan, pledge to a syndicate and level up through it, and make a sentinel. Also, one last tip, you can make any prime frame once you hit Master Rank 3. However, this may be challenging as you need all types of relics to complete a set for a frame, for the most part. But weapons have higher Mastery Rank locks, but frames don't, so keep that in mind. Now with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.